What's up, folks? I'm Odd, by the way, and today I figured that we would play around with the character appearance generator, version 3, over on RanGen. This is definitely very Drawfee inspired. I've just been kind of mainlining their videos while I've been drawing other stuff. Which, yes, if you want to go follow me over on my Tumblr and see some other stuff that I don't do on camera, then that's going to be there for you. So we've got this little blurb, right? Randomly generate your human character's looks and physical description for realistic anime or unique characters. Choosing realistic will obviously give you hair, skin, and eye color combinations found in real life. Exotic will mix and match the realistic combinations to give interesting new looks. Anime produces unusual hair and eye colors, and choosing unique produces unusual hair, eye, and skin colors. Choose simple or detailed for basic or more inclusive results, respectively. So, I was thinking for today we would actually go for unique and actually, maybe do two. So do a little pair of characters, similar to when I did, it's like ChatGPT's personas, and I just love them like together, so I did both of them. I thought it'd be interesting to have two characters with a kind of interesting dynamic and also very unique features, so I'm going to make everything as weird as I possibly can. So we've got random, unique, and a detailed description. Everything down here is going to be random: hair length, dye, loss, facial hair, makeup, scars, piercing, tattoos, clothing, info. Everything is there. So, and everything is random. So, I hope that we can have a little bit of fun with whatever characters we get. At that, let's just roll and see what we get. Hold on. Generate. Tall and fragile, this slate-skinned man has a fun-loving feel about him. His medium-length, wavy brown hair, currently decorated with a rainbow of orange dyes, is usually braided. He has knowing, wide-set, brilliant eyes, thick eyebrows, and very thin lips. He wears an unnatural-looking foundation for an immaculate look, natural-colored blush, dark eyeshadow, burnt orange lipstick, and russet eyeliner. My lord, this man is fabulous! He has bony hips, a muscled torso with chiseled abs, and a narrow waist and large hands. Okay. How many characters did it do? Where's this more? Oh, there are multiple. Hold on. So, how many options? Okay, it gave me 3. Yeah, it gave me 3. So I guess we could choose between the 3 of them. Or just draw all 3, considering I do like playing in 3s. Short and solidly built, this lavender-skinned woman has a troublesome feel about her. Her shoulder-length, wavy slate hair is slick, coming out due to alopecia. Oh. She has measuring, small indigo eyes, a softly shaped jaw, a long face, and thick eyebrows. She has toned legs, a short torso with no breasts, and a narrow waist, toned arms, average-sized feet, and straight hips. She has piercings in 5 places, both earlobes, both upper ears, upper lip, her nasal septum, and her chin. Jesus. Okay. She has tattoos fully covering her chest, right forearm, and hands. Okay. Standing 5'6", so this is an exact measure. This cornflower blue-skinned man has an honorable feel about him. A particularly notable feature is his faint freckles. Okay, I think I like this guy. His shoulder-length wavy peach hair is very messy. He has cold, droopy gray eyes, thin lips, and a cleft chin. He has a thin torso with no chest muscle tone, slanted shoulders, angular hips, average-sized feet. Again with the feet. I don't know if the first one is there. And a thin neck. He's looking at something. Okay, so yeah, you've got these 3 characters, like, together. And kind of in a scene, almost. So that's interesting. Honestly, I like going in 3s. I didn't realize that it would give me 3 characters. But take a screenshot. Okay, cool. And then I'll pop that down. Okay, cool. So I've got our blurb. I've got our descriptions down here. And yeah, I might just draw all 3 of these characters, make a little party. Honestly, I'm feeling more about the two guys than I am about the girl, but she seems cool too. It's a fun-loving guy, lavender-skinned woman that is troublesome, and an honorable feel about him. So I'm thinking, okay. Tall and fragile, slate-skinned man, but fun-loving. I'm thinking this is kind of like your bard type, right? And that he's very, yeah, he's like charismatic and obviously very fabulous. Troublesome feel about her, just short little lady, probably a rogue. And then 5'6", so about average, short for a guy, but not really. Shorter than me. Cornflower blue-skinned man has an honorable feel about him. His particularly notable feature is his faint freckles. So he's sort of like a thin torso with no chest muscle tone, slanted shoulders, angular hips, and a thin neck. So he's kind of waifish, and maybe a little bit like sheltered, is what I'm getting. Although, also, like they gave me varying amounts of information on each character, and it feels like it gets shorter each time. So that's kind of interesting. It feels like there's less and less for each. But, yeah, I'm cool with this. We got 2 guys and a girl, and that seems like a fun place to start. So, at that, I think I'm going to probably try and hop over to Speedfan voiceover, because this is definitely going to take a while to compile, and I will let you know my thoughts in the future, which will be right now for you. So, see you there. So, jumping right into it, I did the characters basically in order of description, mainly because their projected heights made it seem more balanced. So, we're starting with the tall, lanky guy with slate gray skin and red eyes. Immediately, I thought, okay, so I'm making a sexy tiefling. I spent a good amount of time sorting out the pose and body. I figured this boy would probably be like a cropped everything type, so nothing is exactly the length that it should be. Not his sleeves, not his pants, not his shirt. Definitely not his shirt. I've been feeling kind of meh about my heads and faces lately, so I've been going about them in a different way. I like to make like a rectangle and divide it into 5 parts. One for the forehead, the brows and the eyes, the nose, the mouth, and the chin. The blocks aren't all quite the same size, like they could be depending on the head, and that's kind of the idea, but I like bigger eyes, so I sort of shorten the nose and chin bits to make it look a bit more proportionate. I always think it's cute when tieflings have a little bit of like accessories on their horns, so I took the usually braided part of the crump and made 2 braids that sort of form a crown around his head. Initially I made a longer braid coming out of the back too, but I figured it implied his hair was longer than what the prompt said, and it didn't show the kind of wavy quality to his hair. So I made it loose at the bottom, though maybe a bit late in the drawing. I always have those little things that I have to fiddle with after I think the lines are done and start wanting to color. For the unnatural foundation, I think I probably could have gone like blue and that would make sense for him, but I decided to go with more of a stark white. The vibe that I wanted to go for was like an old-fashioned stage makeup. It also suited the pinkish blush I added on top. No, he does not blend his neck. He does his ears though, very time consuming. I decided to name this boy Carnelian after his bright red eyes and general red-orange aesthetic. I think he'd be a bard of sorts, definitely like a street performer and actor. He's very open and likable, but probably just a little fake too. Next up, we have the short purple character covered in piercings and tattoos. I thought it would be fun to have her be like a half goblin. She's a little tall to be a full goblin, I think. Also, I don't know if they really range purple. These don't have to be true to form D&D specific characters anyway. That's just where my mind went more immediately when I read about them. Her face definitely didn't take me quite as long to get down, although I did have to tweak it a bit later. The description says that she has hair coming out due to alopecia, so I tried to get that down visually. I think it can tend to be more patchy than like almost looking like it's receding like this, but there could be other parts of her head that are missing hair, maybe a bit more patchy, and she could kind of slick it back to kind of cover them. Since her eyebrows were described, I figured what she had left could be kind of shaved into like blocks. With her piercings, I went for spikes on like everything, beside the bottom of her ears, which I made plugs. It gives her ears a sort of butterfly look almost. I wound up starting with her outfit being very simple, kind of with the intention of her showing off her tattoos, but when I took a break and came back to do her tattoos, I realized, piercings? Tattoos? Duh, she was a pirate! So I ruffled up her skirt on top of it and gave her a bit more of a naval theme to her tattoos. Initially, I think I named her like Lila, and maybe that is still her given name, but I like to think that she took up a moniker, and so she's Indigo Jane now. I think she heard her eyes described as indigo at one point, and maybe just decided to make that her whole personality. Maybe she's also like stealing and trading in it. I also totally just blocked in some different blobby shapes on her sleeves. With the size of these like full body shots, it seems like it would get kind of busy to add too many, and frankly, I didn't wanna. I got some cool waves though, naval star, very simplified mermaid pinup, a sailboat, some rough tentacles, and of course her name on her chest. So there is some detail. I wound up talking a bit with my brother about her, and we joked that she joined the pirates maybe looking to become like a famous pirate's wife, I guess a sea wench, but quickly became the famous pirate and got a pretty lady herself. Now maybe she's like adventuring with the boys to get one last good score to legitimize her indigo trade business and retire with her wife. Lastly, we have our blue-skinned, tired, skinny boy. Since both of the other characters seem allergic to covering their midriffs, arms, and legs, I figured it would be good to make this guy a little bit more put together for that contrast, especially since he's described as having a noble feel about him. Despite that, he is just all skin and bones. Initially, I thought he might go for baggier clothes, sort of like a wizardly vibe, but then I thought, well, if this guy is rich, he's going to have a relatively well-tailored clothes. To me, he hit as like an elf or maybe half elf. This whole party has the whole long ears treatment because I have very obvious design biases, okay? I love me some sharp and or elfy ears. I decided to go a little cliche and name this boy Dorian, which isn't exactly relative to his eye color like the other characters, but is a reference to a picture of Dorian Gray, cause Gray. Yeah, it's a pun, sorry. I also felt like it went nicely with his more classic aesthetic. I made his pose sort of looking off to one side and then gesturing to his party, so the he's looking at something becomes he's apologizing on his party's behalf. I imagine he started out like a little fresh-faced graduate of some esteemed elf school and was incredibly sheltered, so he basically hired the first two rough-looking types that he could find to be like his guides and bodyguards. Also, I think Jane is totally trying to hook him up with Carnelian. The piece here seems like a bit later on, when he's already a little ruffled and tired of meekly apologizing on behalf of his cohorts. Also, with the kind of random color I chose in the background, it feels like they're in some sort of police lineup or like standing for their mugshots. I guess that checks out. But this is my little band of characters I made from the prompts that I was given. I actually could see these being fun characters to come back to and play around with more in the future. Let me know what you think though, and maybe how you would have interpreted these characters and if it was any different. And of course, give this video a like if you liked it, and subscribe to see more fun art challenges in the future. But at that, I'll see y'all next time. Time to go draw like 30 more makeup looks for Carnelian.